6 years ago, I decided to change my career, and I decided at that time that I wanted to make documentary films. And I remember at the time, I just, for a little while, been going through some bouts of depression, and I remember thinking, this isn't right, I've got to do something about this, I've got to stop these black holes that I was getting into. And a friend of mine at the time had been seeing a psychiatrist who she recommended, and I rang him and I said, look, I just need someone to talk to, but I don't want drugs or medication. And he said, that's fine. So I started seeing him and just talking in general about stuff and trying to sort stuff out. And it was probably on my 8th or 9th visit there, I remember walking into his office, beaming with happiness, this huge smile on my face. And I said to him, Tony, this is the last time I'll be seeing you, because I'm going to go and make a documentary about Tibet. And he just kind of smiled or laughed. It was kind of sort of out of the blue a bit, I guess. But I had been thinking for some time about making a film, making a documentary. I'd never made one before, and I'd decided to choose the subject of Tibet for a number of reasons. One, because I had started reading the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, which I still have yet to finish. And two, because Tibet is a country that has always fascinated me from a historical point of view. It's got a contemporary history of oppression and struggle, and that's a subject that I'm really interested in. But also a history with a really rich culture and tradition, and just an interesting history. And also at that time, the end of 2006, people had started talking about the Beijing Olympics, and I thought, well, this is a great opportunity to use that event to showcase the issue of Tibet. And the aim was that I would have this film ready. Have no idea what story I was going to tell, had no idea how to put a film together, just knew that I had to get this film done, or I wanted to get this film done. And it was in about August 2008, 2 weeks before the Beijing Olympics, I finished the film. I managed to sell it to 2 international broadcasters, and it's still running on one of those TV stations. I had it screened in about 14 international film festivals, and I had public screenings all around Australia and in all sorts of countries like Italy and Portugal and France and Finland, UK, USA, New Zealand, Austria, and a few other places. And I remember at the second public screening in Australia in Byron Bay, New South Wales, at the end of the screening, you know, everyone had left the cinema and we were all in the foyer talking, and there was a young girl. She was a Japanese, I think a student or a tourist, but she was here and she came up to me and she was crying and visibly shaken. Her whole body was just shaking. And she said to me, thank you for making this film. Thank you for teaching me and my friends about Tibet, because we had no idea what was happening there. And I remember hugging her and thinking to myself at that time, wow, any troubles or obstacles or difficulties I had during that journey making that film completely dissolved into thin air. And I thought, it's just all been worth it. If I have achieved nothing else, then having achieved this and having one person tell me that I was able to help them understand about this issue, then I thought the whole journey has been totally worth it.